This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Monday, the 9th day of February in the year 2026. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting. Now here's what we're tracking tonight. Minister of Governance Walton-Desir today told the Parliamentary Committee of Supply that it takes time to change the culture and habits of people, but there is a slow turn in society with regards to violence in the country, as she justified the millions of dollars allocated to the Men on a Mission program. Today marked the start of the consideration of the budget estimates at the level of the Committee of Supply, and with more than $900 million set aside for the Men on a Mission program, Opposition Member of Parliament Ganesh Mahipol asked the government minister to provide measurable data on the impact that the program is having on society, particularly men. He reminded that the program was designed to improve the behavior of men, helping them to be better fathers, partners, and change agents in the society. Importantly, he said, it sought to address issues of gender-based violence and domestic violence. In response, the Minister of Governance said change requires time, but there is a slow and positive change taking place.
Mr. Chair and Honourable Member, it takes a long time to change people's culture and habits. It doesn't happen overnight. The culture of abuse and the acceptance and tolerance of our society for abuse and domestic violence, it takes a long time to change. This is focused on changing men's attitudes towards women, towards children, and playing a role as change agents, particularly in their communities.
Desir said there has been heavy focus on addressing issues confronting men, including through workshops and community-related programs. However, emphasis, she noted, has also been placed on producing support to the poor and vulnerable, including women and children, through the construction of homes.
Also focused on dealing with the very poor in terms of their housing, providing better houses for them. But they have had those, but it takes time, and I believe right now, generally with what the government is doing, both through the Ministry of Human Services and Education and Office of the President with Men on Men, that there is a slow turn in the society to do with not tolerating the level of violence that we used to have before.
The government minister said although domestic violence continues, there is less tolerance, as expressed in the media and in the judiciary, in terms of dealing with such cases and protecting women. More news coming up in just a moment.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look, you know the one, or one touch, even one word. It can start with one step, or one promise, one thrill, one first time, one deep breath, one leap of faith, one day to remember, or one night to forget. One moment, so many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life, just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Guyana, Masharama is back.
And it done ram already.
This Mashramani season, hits and jams and marvelous entertainment brings to you Masharama,
the beach edition.
It's the ultimate dance hall beach party
at the Kingston Beachfront on Saturday, February 21st, 2026.
Get ready for a live performance by Jamaica's hottest young stars, Asian, Jamal the Dunce Man,
Giant in my iPhone, and when me call another y'all tone, me make a million pounds.
They're bringing the heat straight to the beach.
And holding it down all night.
Out of Trinidad, Buns and Renzo.
Alongside Guyana's best musical geniuses.
Heavy music, non-stop vibes, pure mash energy on the beach.
Physical tickets are available now at all regular ticketing locations.
Early bird $4,000, stage front $15,000. Or you can visit hdexperience.com.
Mashorama, the beach edition. The music, the culture, the people.
This event is powered by Hits and Jams,
Stovetop Creole Restaurant,
GD Events, the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sports,
the Ministry of Tourism, Team Extra,
Fireside Suites,
and Stereo Sonic Sound.
Mashorama,
The beach edition.
Celebrate with us at Courts. We have what you need at the biggest season sale. Save with great deals and huge savings on select items store-wide. Get unbeatable values on TVs, new arrivals in furniture. Save on select bedroom sets, large appliances, free gifts, and much more. Shop now, pay later. Get huge savings this season, only at Courts. Bringing value home. Offers end February 28th, 2026. Conditions apply.
Gospel Fest Guyana 2026. Abnormal Praise. Keeping it loud. Match Night. National Exhibition Center. 6:30 p.m. Join us for an unforgettable night of praise and worship. Featuring Prince Sarge.
How we are men that know us. Christian in the place. Holy Spirit light the fire make it blaze.
DJ Nicholas.
Cut it off. Anything I try distract you for cut it off.
Samuel Midas.
Excited to call your name. I can't be the only one who's a Christian and unashamed.
Sean Daniel.
Question: who started the waving thing? Who started the waving thing?
Faith Corica, Solid You, and several other outstanding ministers. This is the event you can't miss. Bring something to wave. Tickets available now. Check social media for all ticket outlets. Gospel Fest 2026. Mash Night. National Exhibition Center. Keeping it loud.
Well, the Parliamentary Committee of Supply today approved $40 million for the Office of the Commissioner of Information, with more than 75% of that sum being paid as a salary to the Commissioner himself, retired Court of Appeal Judge Charles Ramson Sr. While considering the national budget estimates today, Opposition Member of Parliament Ganesh Mahipal stated that over the last 5 years, the Office of the Commissioner of Information received more than $90 million, but there is no evidence to show what work was done. Mahipal told the committee that the Commissioner of Information has failed to provide any report and has also failed to respond to requests for information. Against that backdrop, he asked for the budget for the Office of Commissioner of Information to be significantly reduced.
And here we are requesting an additional $40 million. Sir, in view of the answer provided earlier by the Honourable Minister of Parliamentary Affairs and Governance, Gail Teixeira, and taking note of the Commissioner of Information not satisfying what is expected, that is no report for over 10 years, nothing to Parliament for scrutiny, no proof of any work being done. Would the Honourable Minister and her side support a reduction in the allocation of the sum to the Office of the Commissioner of Information to $1?
Minister Teixeira said she would not support the cutting of the allocation for the Commissioner of Information.
Would hate to cut anybody's budget, and therefore I would not support you in any way of cutting the Commissioner of Information's budget to $1. However, I do think you need to know that the Commission works under the Freedom of Information Act, the Access to Information Act, and it clearly states what his role is and what people can do and what they can't ask and what they can. And so I've seen a lot in the media a lot of issues being raised which are publicly available. So the number one rule is that once information is publicly available on any site, the Commissioner of Information doesn't have to do anything about it. It's available.
Late last year, members of civil society and some members of the media protested the office of the Commissioner of Information, saying that requests for critical information have gone unanswered. But Minister Desir told the Parliamentary Committee that the Commissioner receives an average of about 6 requests per month, and all of those requests have been honored. Meanwhile, APNU Parliamentary lead Dr. Terence Campbell asked for a breakdown on how the $40 million will be spent, and to which the minister confirmed that most of that money will go to the salary of the Commissioner of Information.
Just a follow-up, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, Honourable Member.
Honourable Minister, I think it's over 10 years of reports that have not been presented to Parliament, and this is way beyond the pale. The government has the excellent advice of the Attorney General behind, who I'm sure could provide guidance as to how the situation can be addressed. But I think it's ridiculous for us to come year after year here to Parliament and budget $40 million for this office with no visible output.
Ramson was reappointed Commissioner of Information by the current government. Well, former Guyana Movement Member of Parliament Amanzo Walton-Desir is contending that under Annex 13 of the Convention on International Civil Aviation, the government of Guyana is legally obligated to release the report on that deadly Guyana Defence Force helicopter crash from more than 2 years ago. The government has been tight-lipped on the helicopter crash, which claimed the lives of 5 servicemen in December 2023. Last week, the Minister of Aviation, Deodat Indar, said because the aircraft was owned by the Guyana Defence Force and the flight was controlled by the GDF, the incident should be exempted from public release of the findings of the report. But MP Walton-Desir said he is wrong. In a recent interview, the opposition MP said that while the aviation minister may be relying on Article 3 of the Convention on International Civil Aviation to block the release of the report, his interpretation is deeply flawed. Article 3 states that the convention is applicable only to civil aircraft and not state aircraft, including those used by the military, customs and police services. But according to MP Walton-Desir, the helicopter that was involved in the accident was registered as a civil aircraft and not a military aircraft.
Guyana does not have military airspace. There is no carve-out for military operations. That's the first thing that you have to know. The second thing that you have to know is that the aircraft was a civilian registered aircraft. There's nothing like military aviation in Guyana. And so a civilian aircraft falls squarely within the parameters and under the authority of the Guyana Civil Aviation Authority. It is registered on our register as such.
She also said the government activated Annex 13 the moment it launched an investigation into the deadly crash, and now it is obligated to release the findings under the same Annex 13.
If you are a civil registered aircraft flying in civil administered airspace, then you trigger the provisions of Annex 13. What does Annex 13 require? Annex 13 requires that as long as an investigation is commenced, 1, an interim report must be released, and 2, a final report must be released. So they have triggered an investigation on Annex 13, so they can't turn back now.
It was explained that because Guyana is an ICAO state, it is legally obligated to provide other contracting states with a report on its findings and safety recommendations.
As long as it is not a full military operation, i.e. a military aircraft operating in military airspace under special operations rules, you have to release the accident report. Because like I said, the family must know what happened to them. And if it's an issue of pilot error or human factors, we must know about it because it helps to strengthen the safety recommendations within the industry. So the minister is mistaken, and if I were the family, I would be taking legal action to force them to release the safety findings of that report.
While the Guyana Defence Force provided information on the crash and the aftermath, it has been very protective of the statements from the 2 surviving servicemen. Those who lost their lives in the helicopter crash were Commander of the 1st Infantry Battalion, Colonel Michael Shahood, veteran pilot Lieutenant Colonel Michael Charles, who was in command of the helicopter, Lieutenant Colonel Sean Welcome, retired Brigadier Gary Beaton, along with Sergeant Jason Kahn. It is suspected that pilot error might have contributed to the crash. The ongoing extradition hearing against billionaire businessmen Nazar and Azruddin Mohammed was halted and adjourned this morning after the court learned of the hospitalization of 73-year-old Nazar Mohammed following a medical emergency. The elder Mohammed was reportedly preparing for court this morning when he fell ill and had to be rushed to a hospital with complaints of chest pains related to a heart ailment and an elevated blood pressure. According to his son Azruddin Mohammed, his father was hospitalized with a number of medical complaints.
Yes, he got a heart complication, got a pressure issue, diabetes. I guess it's age, 73 years of age. And this is really taking a toll on him. And I wish him a speedy recovery.
In and out of the courtroom, the prosecution wished Mr. Mohammed a speedy recovery. One of the prosecuting attorneys, Glenn Hanneman, told reporters that today's adjournment was understandable.
We wish Nazar Mohammed well. We wish him a speedy recovery. These things happen. Nothing we can do.
Inside the courtroom, Hanneman had asked for the senior Mohammed to appear virtually, should he still be unwell when the case is called again on the 16th of February. But the defense objected to such a proposal. Hanneman said that the delays were costly.
Always, there's a cost. Even the court has to mobilize itself from a different jurisdiction to be here. Prosecutors have to be here.
Are you open to having Mr. Nazar Mohammed appearing via virtually?
Very. I think the law allows for that, and I think that is a very good solution if he needs to rest. I think that he can be accommodated like that by the court, and I would ask for that to happen.
According to the attorney, the Paper Committal Act allows defendants to appear virtually once consent is given for the defense attorneys to witness the proceedings on their behalf. However, defense attorney Sian Darjon told reporters that the senior Mohammed will appear in court once he recovers from his illness.
No. At least if he feels much better, he will come on the next occasion. But as of now, I don't think the magistrate is willing to entertain too much virtual appearances, because even counsel for the USA asked to appear virtually on the next occasion, and that was resisted.
The case comes up again on the 16th of February for report. Let's tell you now that Minister responsible for Finance, Dr. Ashni Singh, rebutted the opposition members of Parliament on Friday night from both the Win Party and the APNU, who cited a poverty rate in Guyana of 58% during their budget debate presentations. A recently published international report has stated that based on data available up to 2021, the country's poverty rate stands at 58%. The matter became a talking point during the budget debates last week, with a number of opposition MPs chastising the government for taking little action to bring relief to those living on the poverty line. But in wrapping up the budget debates, the Minister of Finance said the figures reflected the country's poverty rate during the former APNU-AFC government.
For those who need to be reminded, the period 2016 to 2018 fell squarely during the APNU-AFC's tenure in government. And 2021 was in the heart of the COVID-19 shutdown. Mr. Speaker, the report is clear, page 41. 2016 to 2018, so that poverty statistic that they were trotting out is an APNU-AFC legacy.
APNU Parliamentary lead Dr. Terence Campbell, who rose during the Finance Minister's presentation, said the numbers might even be higher now, alleging that the government officials are refusing to subject themselves to the process on the new round of interviews that were being conducted to assess the country's poverty level.
But Mr. Speaker, it is convenient to continue to repeat the misrepresentation. And it is this convenient and now ingrained habit of misrepresentation. Like I said, could go on and on. We have a labor market survey, sir, that has shown how incomes have risen and how employment has grown and how unemployment has been halved.
Dr. Singh said the government will continuously roll out measures to improve the lives of citizens.
And we will continue to spend every single day. Every single day, Mr. Speaker. Not only this week and this month. Every day for the next 5 years, to ensure that the people of Guyana see steady and sustainable improvements in their lives, and to ensure that our country does not end up down the abysmal path of becoming captured by Pablo and the likes of Pablo.
Further, the finance minister also defended his budget, which was presented 2 weeks ago, saying that it will push government's development agenda and social programs. Additionally, he said with the country's solid economic performance last year, it is expected that the economy will further grow this year as the government seeks to prudently manage spending.
Get ready to step into the multiverse. It all goes down February 20th. Brought to you by Mixmaster Tony and powered by GTC. Featuring an international lineup. Added Rankin from St. Vincent, Barry Hype out of St. Lucia, Brandon Duke from Toronto, the Spaniard from Antigua, DJ Optimus from Trinidad, and a major home team representing Guyana. General admission is absolutely free, and for the ultimate experience, the all-inclusive VIP elevated area is just $150. Table packages, VIP bands, and merch are available now at the Port Salts event app. Just search the Multiverse or message 620-4336. This is the Multiverse. Same timeline, elevated experience.
I am a backpack and I'm ready. Rum in my backpack and I'm ready.
Your own home is so much more than just 4 walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
Washi. Hi people. Washing made so easy since I found Washi. Washing me use wash me clothes and I can say Washi soap powder wash clothes so nice. Washi soap powder leave your clothes color bright. Washi soap powder leave me clothes smelling nice, of course. So give thanks to Washi soap powder for doing my laundry right. Keep my clothes color bright. Have my clothes smelling nice for sure. I could not ask for more. Comes in lemon and original. It is a washing machine in a pack. Washi soap powder wash clothes so nice. Washi soap powder leave your clothes color bright. Washi soap powder have my clothes smelling nice, of course.
Distributors located in the Stabrook Market. Guyana. Get ready. Furthermore, in collaboration with Boston Falls NDC presents the most anticipated weekend of the year. It's Boston Falls Mash Weekend 2026. We're kicking things off Thursday, March 5th with Jumpstart at Melanie Market Square. Then Friday, March 6th, we're taking it to the street for Fete on the Line on the Buxton Line Top. But wait, are you ready for the big one? Saturday, March 7th, it's Wet and Dirty Juve at the Buxton Ground. Listen close. Just by passing through the gate with your ticket, you can win a brand new car. Yes, you heard right. A brand new ride is up for grabs. And on Sunday, March 8th, we're closing the streets for Buxton Falls and Mash and Road Jam. Join the road trip from Falls all the way to Buxton Line Top. It's pure vibes, pure energy, pure mushroom. For more info, call Father Moe at 669-6626 or 624-0077. Buxton Falls Mash Weekend 2026. You don't want to miss it.
Tell them now we're ready for the ride.
Your business is built on hard work, vision, and the drive to succeed. At GBTI, we understand what it takes to grow. That's why we offer Grow, a small business service designed to help your business expand, adapt, and reach its full potential. From new opportunities to new milestones, we're here to support you every step of the way. Grow from GBTI. Progress starts here.
On Friday night, between jeers from the government side and cheers from his fellow party members in the opposition, leader of the opposition Azruddin Mohammed slammed this year's national budget as having very little for ordinary Guyanese and more for friends and family of the government. He said while the budget is the largest in the country's history, the outcomes might not be all positive.
Mr. Speaker, the government wants the nation to believe that because the budget is the largest in our history, it will automatically produce the best outcomes. Right. But bigger budgets do not equal better lives.
Mr. Mohammed said families are still struggling across the country, and this year's budget does not contain solid measures to assist them, adding that public servants and frontline workers have been left out completely from any significant budget measure.
We must ask ourselves, Mr. Speaker, how callous are the members on the opposite side of the House to stand bold-faced in this chamber and present the biggest budget in the history of this country, while more than half of Guyana lives in poverty. Oh my God. And there is little to nothing to cushion the cost of living or to ensure that the people of this country can live better lives.
During his budget contribution on Friday night, Government Chief Whip Gilda Shearer brought it to the Speaker's attention that the opposition leader was reading his contribution of the budget debates, and that was against the standing orders. Mr. Mohammed continued to read his speech as the government side heckled him continuously, with his party members defending him throughout their response. But the opposition leader said he does not see himself in the National Assembly as one to criticize without offering solutions.
What this budget is designed to do is to have big numbers on paper, and then in dark rooms, billions of dollars are siphoned off for kickbacks. Ask Zulfikar, Susan, Vikram, or Batilayan. No. I'm referring to them. Yeah. This is why every single day, with the strength of Almighty God, I will ensure that we highlight, expose, and scrutinize public spending. Right. We will pay attention to how taxpayers' dollars are spent. Right. And come next elections, you will be out of office.
Right. In the energy sector, the opposition leader told Prime Minister Mark Phillips that he has failed big time with GPL, as the country continues to still face daily blackouts in many areas.
Just now in Region 6, residents call and say blackout, while you were speaking.
Lucky them!
Despite $40-something billion a year for the power ships, for the rental every month and the fuel, $40-something billion. When those power ships decide to leave, what happened?
And turning his attention to the gold mining sector, Mr. Mohammed noted the decline in declarations and told the National Assembly that the declarations were much higher when he was involved in the business. Mohammed and his father are owners of one of the largest gold dealerships in the country. However, they were both sanctioned by the U.S. government for alleged gold on the declarations and tax evasion related to gold exports, resulting in their gold dealership license being yanked locally. Still, he questioned the state of the gold mining sector and also questioned the unavailability of foreign currency at local commercial banks.
Right now, if you go to the banks, if you go to any one of the banks, you can't get US.
Don't listen to them.
And the Honorable Ashley knows very well what I'm speaking about.
Right.
If you go to the banks for 20,000 wire transfer, you gotta wait 2-3 weeks.
Right.
But when I was in operation, the banks would call me midnight to ensure they get a couple million US for the next day.
Right.
The opposition leader also told the National Assembly that he bankrolled the PPP before he got into politics, pointing out that many of the problems he now faces is as a result of his political choices. He also accused the government of shutting out small miners in the gold mining sector, although they have served as the backbone of the industry for several years. APNU Member of Parliament Sherrod Duncan has submitted a motion to the National Assembly calling for the accredited press to be given unfettered access to parliamentary proceedings that are open to the public in the interests of democracy and public oversight. Mr. Duncan submitted the motion last Friday after he was challenged to do so by Speaker of the National Assembly Walton-Desir. The opposition MP during his budget presentation had raised the issue of the limitations and restrictions that had been placed on media operatives with regard to their access to the parliamentary proceedings. But before he could have completed his line of argument, the Speaker interjected and suggested that the motion be submitted. In the motion that has been now submitted, MP Duncan called on the National Assembly to direct that full, reasonable and non-discriminatory access be guaranteed to all duly accredited media houses and their representatives to observe, record and report from sittings of the National Assembly. He's also calling on the Parliament to rescind any administrative arrangements, practices, or directives that impose caps on the number of accredited media reps who are permitted in the chamber, except where objectively required by demonstrable space or security issues. The opposition MP is calling for independent audiovisual media houses to be granted access in circumstances where such coverage can be safely and orderly accommodated. The motion also highlights the need for the Parliament Office to provide reliable, high-quality, uninterrupted and publicly accessible live audiovisual broadcasts of all sittings of the National Assembly. The opposition MP said it is imperative for the Assembly to operate in a manner that guarantees openness, transparency, accountability, and public confidence. He said for decades, accredited media houses have been granted reasonable and direct access to the sittings of the National Assembly, in accordance with democratic norms, parliamentary practice, and the public's constitutional right to information. A 42-year-old businesswoman from Amelia's Ward in Linden was arrested on Sunday after police investigators found 3 9mm pistols with 9.32 rounds of ammunition, as well as marijuana leaves, seeds, and stems. A 36-year-old driver was also arrested. In a statement, the police said its ranks visited a residence in central Amelia's Ward in Mackenzie, based on information received. During a search of a motor lorry that was parked at the residence, the ranks found a haversack behind the driver's seat, containing several parcels of marijuana leaves, seeds, and stems. The police said further checks led to the discovery of the 3 guns and ammunition, leading to the arrest of the businesswoman. A 36-year-old male driver of Bamia-Suzdijk-Linden Highway was arrested at his residence as the police investigations continued. Both suspects remain in custody as the investigations are ongoing tonight. An operation by the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit over the weekend resulted in the seizure of just over 18 pounds of cocaine and the arrest of 2 suspects. The operation was conducted in Kitty here in Georgetown. According to KANU, during the operation, its ranks intercepted 2 motor vehicles. One of the vehicles fled the scene at high speed, with its driver trying to evade the KANU ranks as they gave chase. A collision between the car and some vehicles belonging to Kanu brought that escape bid to an end. Kanu said during the pursuit its ranks noticed a brown cardboard box being flung from the vehicle. Some ranks stopped and retrieved the box, while others continued the chase and eventually intercepted the vehicle at Sheriff Street and Rupert Craig Highway. The vehicle was being driven by Shaquille Gordon, who was also the only occupant of the vehicle at the time. The police said a search of the box that was seen being thrown from the car revealed 7 parcels of cocaine. The man was immediately arrested, while the other suspect, who had been stopped earlier, was also arrested and taken into custody. That other suspect's name was given as Ravindranath Persad. Tonight, the investigations are ongoing.
Star Rentals is expanding, and we're hiring truck drivers. If you have a valid driver's license and a minimum of 5 years driving experience, we want to hear from you. Join a growing professional company offering attractive wages and benefits and a positive work environment. Apply in person at 21 Craig Street, Campbellville, Georgetown, or call 592-2263-020 today. Star Rentals, we've got you covered.
Ready to position your brand at the heart of the region's most influential energy event? The Guyana Energy Conference and Supply Chain Expo invites you to become a sponsor and connect directly with leaders shaping the future of energy and industry. Choose from 4 powerful tiers: Platinum, Diamond, Gold, and Silver. As a sponsor, your brand takes center stage, from live press conferences and magazine features to exclusive speaking opportunities and top-tier visibility across every major platform. Enjoy premium exhibition booths, media coverage, and access to hundreds of industry professionals and decision makers. Whether you want to lead discussions, host networking events, or elevate your brand presence, sponsorship puts your company at the forefront of opportunity and innovation.
Your business is built on hard work, vision, and the drive to succeed. At GBTI, we understand what it takes to grow. That's why we offer Grow, a small business service designed to help your business expand, adapt, and reach its full potential. From new opportunities to new milestones, we're here to support you every step of the way. Grow from GBTI. Progress starts here.
Fruitopia, Fruitopia, it's the drink that's hype. Citrus punch, fruit punch tastes nice. Guava, pineapple, that give me a vibe. We no want nothing less compared to the rest. Fruitopia the best. Quench any thirst when it comes to the test. Perfect thing for my lunch. Flavors pack a punch. Fruitopia, Fruitopia, it's the drink that's hype. It's citrus punch, fruit punch tastes nice. Fruitopia, the drink that rocks your lunchtime.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guyana is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guyana's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guyana has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
With your regional and international news tonight, I am Svetlana Marshall. In the region, the Kremlin said today that the fuel situation in Cuba, which has unveiled a plan to protect essential services and ration fuel, was critical, and that U.S. attempts to suffocate the island's economy were causing many difficulties. Cuba detailed its plans to navigate the deepening crisis on Friday as the communist-run government dug in its heels in defiance of a U.S. effort to cut off oil supply to the Caribbean island after declaring Cuba an unusual and extraordinary threat to U.S. national security. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov told reporters that the situation in Cuba is indeed critical and that Russia was maintaining contact with its Cuban friends through diplomatic and other channels. Russia is trying to restore its own battered ties with the United States as U.S. President Donald Trump seeks to broker a deal to end its war in Ukraine. But the Kremlin made it clear it was unhappy with Washington's treatment of Cuba. Peskov said the suffocating tactics employed by the United States are indeed causing many difficulties for the country. He was answering a question about reported jet fuel shortages and whether that might affect Russian tourists wanting to leave Cuba, a longtime ally of Moscow. As political parties make their final push ahead of Barbados' snap election on Wednesday, two leading analysts debated the Democratic Labour Party's decision to launch its manifesto just days before voters cast their ballots, revealing a split on whether the timing is a blunder or a calculated maneuver. Political scientist Dr. George Bell said he believes the party's decision leaves voters with too little time to properly assess its plans. He told Barbados Today that there's a disadvantage in terms of people getting a hold of the manifesto and studying it. The late release could also shape negative public perceptions about the party's proposals, he suggested. Dr. Bell acknowledged that the parties sometimes delay releasing manifesto to prevent opponents from copying ideas, but argued that such considerations should not outweigh the need to inform voters. But regional pollster Peter Wickham argued that late manifesto launches are not unusual within Barbados' political system, particularly for opposition parties. He rejected claims that such timing automatically signals a lack of preparedness. Wickham pointed to historical precedent, citing the 1986 general election, in which the Democratic Labour Party won 24 seats after launching its manifesto after the incumbent Barbados Labour Party. And finally tonight, international news. Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime show was one big love letter to his native Puerto Rico, culminating in a message of pride in his home and the Americas, and an appeal for unity with the U.S. The 40-minute set included guest performances from Lady Gaga and Ricky Martin, along with cameos from likes of Cardi B, Karol G, and Jessica Alba, who could be seen dancing on the porch of his famous casita, a staple of his shows designed to look like a traditional Puerto Rican home. The 31-year-old, who was the world's most played artist in 2025 according to Spotify, made history by becoming the first musician to perform entirely in Spanish at a Super Bowl, which is normally the most watched event on US TV. He did choose to say one line in English, "God bless America," before listing nations of Central, South, and North America as dancers carried their flags. Behind him, a billboard message read, "The only thing more powerful than hate is love," and he held a football at the end of the segment, bearing the slogan in English, "Together we are America." However, Bad Bunny did not use his performance to make any explicit political statements against the current U.S. administration. Despite that, President Donald Trump, who did not attend this year's Super Bowl, called Bad Bunny's set absolutely terrible, one of the worst ever, on his social media platform, Truth Social. He added that it was an affront to the greatness of America. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Swatlana Marshall, wishing you a pleasant evening.